Hey, welcome, guys. Welcome to Coaching with Chris. I'm pretty excited. Today, we get to talk to my good friend Mylo and his story into the business. And I think that's how we learn. But also, he said some really cool things the other day at AIM Fuse, and I wanted to get him on and just be able to teach the whole group. So I'm pretty excited about that. But hey, Coaching with Chris, please like, share, comment, ask questions. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, your favorite way to be able to listen. I'd love to be able to hear from you of how do you listen to Coaching with Chris so I could learn more from you guys. And by the way, if you haven't checked out our new realtor playbook to being able to engage with your realtors through some great, amazing contact, make sure you DM me and I will get you the goods. With that, I'm pretty excited. Like, look, the first time I really got to meet Mylo was he came to a playbook event, and I think he was trying to figure out everything and figure out Windsor. And Mylo has done some pretty cool things. And I was like, I got to get to know this guy. There was just something about Mylo that I wanted to learn. And over this past year or so, I've got to do deals together, got to learn together, got to listen to Mylo speak, and it's just been really fun to be able to watch his career really come to light, and a new company. So we're going to talk about that, but enough of me, more about Mylo. Mylo, are you here?
I'm here. Here I am.
Clean and ready.
Listen, I'm hot. I got swag on. I got swag in my hand.
Look at that. Look at that. So, hey, Mylo, now, I always like asking everybody their journey, and I kind of know the journey a little bit about how you got into mortgage, but for everybody's benefit, like, you got into mortgage because you saw a problem, and you can't skip the story of going to the classes, if you know what I'm going with that, and
Yes.
and then understanding, wait a minute, so like, walk us through this whole thing.
Yeah. So I was in a relationship. We decided we were going to buy a house, do the house thing. And the in-house lender was a dick. There's just no other way to put it. He was like griping and yelling. I didn't understand why I understand what he was saying or why he was so like hype about everything, considering it was a 9-month build out. And so I was doing hair at the time. So I called a client of mine who's a realtor and said, where can I find out about mortgages? Like, I'm lost, right? This guy's just yelling at me and I feel stupid. And she said, oh, call Champions. I think they have a class. And I said, okay, great. So I found Champions School of Real Estate. I saw the mortgage originator class. And then I saw there was a follow-up like weekend class the next weekend. So I thought, oh, okay, well, if I miss anything, I'll catch it here. And so I did the first class and then the weekend class. And, they're testing you every like chapter. And I'm like, this is crazy. And so at the end of the follow-up class, which was basically the review class, the teacher says, hey, everybody, good luck on your exam. And I said, what exam? He said, your exam originator license. I said, a license for what? He said, so you can originate loans. I said, loans for who? He said, people trying to buy a house. I said, damn, that's me. Like, I was so confused. So about 2 weeks later, I took the test, passed it, and, now have the high honor of sitting here with you.
I mean, I've heard a lot of people's mortgage journey. I don't know if I've ever heard that you just sought out to learn about mortgage because you didn't understand. So you take classes and then all of a sudden, well, boom, you're licensed as an originator. Now you have to say, I'm cutting hair. Now what? What do I do with this thing?
Yeah, so I was slinging hair, and I had been doing hair for probably 18 years at the time. So I knew I was going to be transitioning at some point, right? And I just thought, okay, well, let's start the transition. My first loan, so my first interview, the company doesn't exist anymore, but I went on this interview and he offered me minimum wage, and I started laughing. And he's like, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "Well, don't you think it's funny you're offering somebody minimum wage? Like this is what? Who works for minimum wage?" And he just looked at me and I said, "Listen, I'm not some struggling hair person. Like this is a transition thing. I like what is minimum wage?" He said, "I don't know." I think at the time it was like $7. It had just been lifted in Texas.
Sure.
And and he looked over the desk. He said, "Well, you won't be able to buy those shoes." I had a pair of like red Gucci loafers, like runways, spring runway, like, whatever. I said,
Yeah.
I got those shoes. Don't worry about me. I said, "When do I start?" He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I don't think you can be really picky. You're offering minimum wage. When do I start this thing?" He's like, "I guess I'll see you Monday." So I bullied my way into a job. My first
Gee.
loan was my client's daughter, 2-bedroom condo, 20% down, 760 FICO, 350, easy peasy. And I thought, man, this is gravy. This is great. And then reality kicked in after that. But, I've never looked back. I am super blessed. I've had great mentors and made the best mistakes possible to get where I am.
Hmm.
So it's a funny story, but it's my story. It couldn't have happened any other way if it was me, honestly.
I love that story. I got to tell you something. I come up with an idea years ago that we made a sticker for everybody's hairdresser that would go on the mirror, in the bottom corner, and it's like, ask her how good I am at mortgage, and or him. And this particular was a girl, and like it was 5 leads at least a month by a sticker. And when you started talking about it at AIM Fuse about you being in the hairdressing and hairstylist for whatever, for how many years, 18 or whatever plus, I was like, man, I used to get a lot of leads from my hairdresser. So that's a pretty cool transition. And then you're doing mortgage. So Mylo, you you started working for this guy at minimum wage, and then at some point in time, you're like, I'm worth more than this. How did you make the transfer, and then how did the career grow, and then get me to the point to where now you own your own shop?
So I got
Did I lose
recruited
you,
by
Mylo?
I'm sorry. I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello?
Okay, so
Got
we
me?
must have a little website technology I don't know nothing about difficulties. I lost you there for a second, Mylo. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, Jessica says we still got him. Oh, shucks. There you are. Mylo, you're back.
Oh,
Welcome
listen.
back.
Yeah, thanks. I could see myself in you the whole time.
Okay. Uh, Mylo, you went from this minimum wage guy to where you
Yep.
are today of owning your own company. Fill the gap for us. And then let's get into some stuff that you're doing that's helping you generate leads.
Yeah, sure. So I went to quit my job. I quickly became the top loan producer at this company, this small little company. I gave him my notice and he said no. I said, "What?" He's like, "You can't
What?
quit." I was like, "Wait, what?" So I was like, "Oh, that's odd." So I went at midnight the day before I was starting the new job and left him a long letter and said, "I'm really quitting. I tried to give you 2 weeks notice. I don't know what else to do. Don't hate me." And they ended up taking my last check because they said I had stolen a lead, which was crazy because I'm not a thief. But what had happened was the company I went to, somebody the loan got closed by somebody who worked for that company at a different branch and I didn't know. And they said I stole it. But regardless, I sort of bumbled my way. to retail company after retail company. I made all the wrong decisions for the right reasons. I didn't know people were lying to me, um, or leaving things out. Like I didn't know what I didn't know. And
Sure.
I landed one of my clients. Well, I met a woman who was an AE for Fairway. I
Okay.
donated a haircut and like color because somebody was sick at this mortgage company. She was fighting cancer. The lead processor came in, who happened to be the wife of one of the owners. She's like, if you ever need a job, if you ever think you're leaving somewhere, call me. So when I got to that place, I called them, landed at VIP in Colleyville. Hey,
Mm.
Brian. Hey, Clark. Hey, Amy. Tasha. Kieran. Like, just a great bunch of guys. When they were interviewing me, I said, listen, this looks like a big fucking frat house. Like, is
Mm.
there room for a gay? Like, are you okay? Like, I don't know. This is a lot of the testosterone. They just laughed. They're like, you'll be fine. I was like, okay. So I learned how to broker there. We were on Calyx Point.
Oh boy.
Everything was paper. I mean, it was old school for days. But they were great. They paid fair. They answered questions if I had them. I ended up leaving at one point to go back to retail because retail sells you the you can't make it big unless you're in retail. You need our processes kind of story. So I believed it. It was a lie again. And then I fell into the lap basically of collab with Andres and Megan. Shout
Mm.
out to Andres and Megan and collab. They're amazing. It was the first time meeting Andres and getting to know him that I felt seen and represented. Right, there was a he's a Colombian, he's Hispanic, he's gay. It was just sort of all of the things I had never seen in leadership,
Mm-hmm.
and we really connected. He's just a great person. Megan
Yeah.
too. And so I trusted them. I thought I don't know anything about you guys other than you don't seem like assholes, so let's go.
Right.
And I called it Brokering 2.0 because I had never heard of any of the companies aside from UWM that they were brokering with, right?
Okay.
Fairway Wholesale, it was gone. They weren't using Rocket. They didn't have Plaza or PRMG at the time. This was just all like Windsor. Who's Windsor? The Lone Store. I didn't know any of these companies. And I started my relationship with Trey Redmond. Shout out Trey, amazing AE at Windsor. I got comfortable with some other new to me, lenders,
Yeah.
and I was on they call it the ownership track, basically where they help you, they groom you to be ready to become an owner. I wasn't really sure that was for me,
Yeah.
whether it was limiting beliefs or just I guess that's all it really was ultimately. And so there was a 500 page, or there still is like 700 page contract. And I just didn't have $8,000 to have it reviewed. So I called Andres one day and I said, listen, if I say fuck or something, like, are you taking my company? Is this like, is this going to be like Chick-fil-A or something? He was like, no, you'll be fine. I was like, all right, I'll sign it today. We're good. And now I own inclusive lending. Again, I just stumble and bumble my way to things. My life's journey in general has never had a plan. Every great thing that's ever happened to me has been by happenstance,
Yeah.
timing, maybe karmic retribution. Like karmic timing is right. So
Sure.
yeah. Now I'm a broker owner. I have conversations with CEOs that what like who knew? I didn't. Um, so yeah, that's where I am.
I think that's just a really cool story. What do you think is the biggest learning? What did you learn the most in 25, either about yourself or about your company?
Whew. Don't make me cry, Chris.
Hmm.
Um, what I learned in 2025 about me is I'm human.
Yeah.
And I think we forget that, a lot of us, because we're constantly being told produce, 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 sell, 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 call, call, call. Like there's never, I rarely have seen anyone at any event, live, big, small, say, listen, you've got to take a vacation.
Mm.
You have to take a break. You've got to take care of yourself. So what I learned this year was, if I don't stop and breathe, if I don't take care of me, and I don't mean a vacation, like we should all go on vacations, but there's points in the day or the week that you just have to stop. Like enough is enough, too much is too much. And that's what I learned. And I always thought it meant I wasn't doing enough
Yeah.
until I had a conversation with Andres, and he was in a mood, not the best of moods. And he was just feeling some type of way about himself. And I mean, I'll never forget this conversation, because I told him, everything you did today was what you were meant to do. It's all that you can do, and it's enough.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, shit, yeah.
I need to hear that.
I needed to hear that from myself. And I think we all need to hear it, because there's so much pressure that realtors will put on you, buyers, your, branch managers, just ourselves. You've got to know when to just say, I need a break, and then it's okay. I used to always take calls while I was eating. I don't do that as much anymore unless it's a super emergency. Like, you're entitled to 40 minutes to eat peacefully, right? I try not to take a call if I'm in the middle of coffee, because they mess up my coffee. I took a call this morning early and I got yelled at. I was like, this is why I don't fucking take calls before 9 o'clock. People are moody.
Oh,
Literally got yelled at by an appraiser. I was like, this is crazy. So that's what I learned. And I learned that my company is my baby.
yeah.
It is an outward extension of me, and I protect it at all costs. I have an LO working for me, working for the company now. Really, we're partners, because I'm just trying to, be a mentor to her. So she doesn't work for me; she works for herself. But I call her the first lady of inclusive, because she
Mm.
is, and she's amazing. She's been in the game 4 years. She's growing quickly. I couldn't be more proud to have her as part of inclusive. And
Mm.
when she came on board, I made her a promise. I was like, listen, I don't need you. You don't need me. We're choosing this moment, and I will protect inclusive and you. And she said, I appreciate that. And so
Yeah.
I've learned, because of not feeling protected or valued, that it's important to put that out there. I don't care if she does a loan or not. That's on her. I just want to make sure she has every tool she needs, that she has the support she needs to do what she needs to do. Right? Her value to me is not based on production.
Hmm. That's pretty cool. Most owners don't say that. I don't know if I've said that or said it enough. You said something that I love that I told you, hey, I always write this in my phone in my notes. Uh,
Yes.
give us the context of that, and give us and tell us what I wrote.
So I was on the main stage at Fuse, not
You
name
were.
dropping or anything, with Jonathan Hadid. Anybody who's watching this is really me being tongue in cheek. I was terrified. I didn't know what was going to happen until like 20 minutes before I walked on the stage. But long story short, we were just having a fireside conversation. I think that was code word for me being a flamer. I mean, I don't know though.
Oh, come on.
And we were talking about how I basically set up my clients to be empowered with knowledge. So after I go through their file and issue a pre-approval, we do a 30 to 45-minute Zoom call, and I bring up Arrive, I share my screen and show them everything about sort of the LOS and the process, and I show them how I price. I show them that every rate has what I say is a piggy bank. right? To make it so that they can understand yield. I say, listen, every rate comes with a piggy bank. The more entitled you are, for lack of a better word, to the rate, the more the piggy bank has. The less entitled you are to the rate, if you want to buy the rate down, the less money there is. So you're either taking money out of the piggy or you're putting money in, right? And they understand that, right? They don't feel like they're getting played or lied to. It's like, listen, this is why this rate is what I'm selling you, right? I'm telling you it's 5.75 because there's no cost. And the piggy bank is fair for the company, it's fair to you, and that's my job. My job is to decide what is fair. And if you and I don't agree, then we have to then negotiate what fair means. And if you want something that you don't deserve or that you think you're entitled to, which would be 4.99, then you better cough up some money or have a realtor asking for a concession or understand that you don't deserve that with your 625 FICO.
So I love it that you put that in an example. Now, Brad Hanson, he just typed in a great question. It said, Mylo, what would you tell somebody that's just starting out in the mortgage industry? You said that you learned by a happenstance and mistakes, right? What
Yeah.
advice would you give? And I'm like, oh my God, how long do we have? But, what would be 2 to 3 things that you would give as advice if someone was just starting out?
If you're just starting out, I would tell you be fearless. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let anybody telling you that you don't know enough. You know more than anybody you're trying to help. And if you don't give them the wrong answer. You just say, listen, let me double check that. Let me make sure I give you the right answer. You don't have to tell anybody you're new. When I started doing hair, they're, oh, how long have you been doing hair? A while. You know, how long have you been doing mortgages? A while. So be fearless because I think fear will cripple you. I think be coachable,
Mm.
right? You want to have an open mind. You want to don't pay attention to the cover of the book per se. Don't worry about who's sending the message. Focus on the message. Because even if the person isn't somebody that is your cup of tea necessarily, they could still be giving you knowledge that you need.
Yeah.
So be open to the message. And I think the last thing is don't fucking give up.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And start on a good team. Like
I
get
don't know
someone
about
like Mylo. Get someone like Mylo is going to mentor you. I'm a great Xerox machine. I'm not the smartest person. I'm just good at Xerox, and I will copy a good idea. And I learned a lot
that.
from having a good mentor in the business. But um, I think that's good advice. So there's some that's given up too quick that had a lot of talent to give, but I was teaching loan officers this week choices. Like we have choices throughout the day. We make good choices, we get good results. We make bad choices, we get bad results. It was nothing fancier than just our choices. Mylo, when you
I want
finally,
to say something. I want to add to that for you. No
yeah,
choice is a choice.
it's good. Yeah, no
Right? When you
choice.
choose to do nothing, you've made a choice.
Yeah. Uh, how true is that? That is true. Uh, what are you excited about for 26 in your business?
Oh, I'm excited to see growth. I'm excited to see what what Bobby becomes. Right, the first lady of Inclusive. I'm excited to see her growth. I'm excited to see my processor husband's growth. Like I'm
Mm.
excited more about the people that I'm surrounded with. Right, I'm excited to see what Windsor's bringing out next year. Right, I'm excited to see what happens at Mortgage Con, and
Mm.
another terrifying moment coming up for me because
Oh,
I'm
so
on a panel.
congratulations about that. Shout out to Morgan Con.
Yeah,
That's a pretty
thanks.
cool event, and you got invited in. And I'm like very excited for you to speak at Mortgage Con this year. I think you're going to kill it.
Thanks. I appreciate it. So I think for me, I'm just excited about growth. And
Yeah.
we grew this year over last year, and it's because I surrounded myself with the right people. I trusted the right people, and I wasn't afraid to say what I needed to say in any instance.
Yeah. Yeah. How many loan officers do you think you'll recruit for 26? Do you got a number yet, or is it it will be what it'll be?
I
Do you
don't
think about it
recruit.
like that or not?
I don't recruit.
All right. Well, I used the wrong word. How many loan officers would you love to hire or work for you or partner? I don't know what word you use, but whatever word you
Yeah,
use,
I
what would be that number? Or don't you look at it like that?
I think so. I didn't. It's crazy, right? Because when I did hair, I had a suite. I had two suites actually. So I was very independent, right? I didn't always work in a salon. At the end, I worked in a salon because it was just who cares, right? Like I don't want all this responsibility. So I opened inclusive for freedom, right? And then organically, Bobby and I, we had already been friendly on Facebook, but the moment came, right? So I think organically, no more than four, maybe five,
Yeah.
because I don't want to shortchange anybody what they need from me. And I still have production goals. So I don't want to shortchange myself. So I think, maybe four would be the ideal number going into 2026.
I love that
Um,
number.
I'd like a nice variety of people because I mean, again, it's inclusive. We're diverse, right? I think the segregation in mortgage is crazy. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's promoted so heavily as not segregation because it is. But hey, listen, do you boo? If you fall for that and that's what you want to do, I support your journey. I'm here for any color, any socioeconomic group. You want to buy a house? Let's fucking talk. I'm here for
Right.
it.
What did you see? What did you see in your market as change, and how did you prospect differently in 25? And would there be any changes in 26 of how you look for additional deals? And because I know you have production goals, I know you're a good producer. Uh, I I I know you're out there into the market, but I don't know if I understand like what's Milo's thing of how he gets these leads.
You haven't seen my mortgage OnlyFans?
No, I have not. I'm sorry about that. You're trying to
um,
get me bashful here.
so in 2025, what changed was my social media game really paid dividends more so than it's always brought me maybe $1 million in production, but probably this year I would say $5 to $6 million of my production, like 25 to 30% of
Wow.
my production was social media based. So we're going to pour into it in 2026, the end of 2025 and 2026. I'm going to mine my database for really the first time with effort. I just signed up with Empower LO. Shout out Kimberly and Michael. She's amazing. So I'll be really focusing on certain. So like in the hair world, they teach you don't need more clients. You need to make more money from the clients you have. And I
Yes.
think it's the same thing in mortgage. I don't need 10 million clients. I need 1,000 loyal clients who have friends who are marketing for me, right? That I'm just staying in front of. And I think I didn't really understand that growing my career. And now that I've sort of landed where when I started, I thought, oh, that's cool. How did they get that? Oh, they have a refi? How what? So now I'm sort of there. Now it's, I have a client that reached out to me yesterday saying, oh, we're gonna buy a house in March. We just wanted to get ready. Can you run numbers? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm that guy now. So work in my database more and social media differently. And I think the last piece is creating a lead gen that's successful. My realtors this year didn't they had a rough time. And I think when you're relying on referral partners, it's stressful. So I'd like to rely less on them and be able to be a little more independent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whatever you tell me to do.
Well, like I'm beaming inside when you said I'm going to take my database serious and I'm really going to work it. Like I'm beaming inside. I'm like super proud of you. Uh, that's the easiest, by far, best conversion rate type of where you can get business by far. I have 4 questions. Oh, by the way, you get a little shout out from your boy Trey,
I see
Mr.
it.
Orange Shoes, Mr. Orange Shoes. But I'm going to give you 4 questions, a little bit deeper. But here's what I love about you: you're honest. You're honest. You tell me exactly the way you feel, and so like I'm pretty excited to ask you these questions to see how you'll answer them. You
Okay.
ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Are you ready?
No. So, where in your life do you need more accountability in 2026?
Whew. In my professional life, I think I need more accountability with staying focused. I tend to use my mental illness or lack of wellness sometimes as an excuse. And while it is a problem that I deal with daily, it is not, for me, it's not paralyzing. And so I need to just be more accountable and do a better job next year of working through some of the shit that I let overtake me this year.
Wow. What standard have you been lowering or compromising on in either personal or business? I told you they're good. I pre-qualified these questions up front. He doesn't know that I was going to ask him these questions, 1. And 2 was I asked permission. So don't beat me up
Yikes.
too bad.
Man, is he trying to get me canceled? I honestly, it's hard to, I'm sure it's going to be hard to believe, but I haven't lowered my standards. I raised my standards this year. I had very difficult conversations with referral partners. I had difficult conversations with my husband, with my mother. I really this year defined my boundaries, both professionally and personally, and
Yeah.
stuck by them. And
Love
I
that.
think, again, it was me stepping past certain fears I have. Like, oh, I don't want to say that because what happens if? Well, what happens if I keep putting up with the shit I'm putting up with, right? Like the fear of the unknown did not outweigh the reality that I was dealing with. So I think it's important for us as originators to understand value. And I made sure title people, AEs, realtors, and clients understood my fucking value this year. I fired people. I wished people well on their journey. I told people I'm not the person that you should be working with. And every time I released somebody, somebody better came.
Wow. What I get to skip the next one and add something else because the question was, what does it look like when you raise the bar for yourself? And you just told us what it looked like, but more importantly, you told us what it felt like. And I could really feel through your answers of what a release that had to be.
Yeah, listen to for me to be a brown, gay, Hispanic in fucking Texas is a huge deal. And it wasn't before. I always used to say, listen, when politics start worrying about a gay Puerto Rican, I'll be worried. Well, they came knocking on my door this year. And I think that fired me up a little bit. And one of my realtors I've known for 9 years. We're good friends. I was at his wedding. And I scheduled a lunch to basically fire him. I didn't like how the deal was going. I didn't like how he was treating me. It was a lot of frustration. And by the end of the lunch, we both apologized and we worked through it. And I think it's important to understand you don't have to kiss anybody's ass to do business with them.
Yeah.
They have to respect you, but more importantly, you have to respect you. And once we understand that and stop believing that, well, I wish my LO would give me a deal. Bitch, I get you a paycheck. You be bringing me some shit on a piece of paper, a name and a phone number, don't know shit. I've mastered this into a $500,000 deal for you. You're making 20 grand with the, out of pocket, and you want, I did bring you a deal. You brought me a lead and I brought you a deal. I think LOs need to understand that we're converting leads daily for realtors. Sorry,
That's
I
a
got
good
my
one.
soapbox.
You brought me a lead. I brought you a deal. I love that. My last
Put that in
question
your
for you.
notes.
It will be in my phone. It will be in my phone. What's one area? You ready for this one? What's one
I'm
area
not.
that you've been blaming others instead of owning yourself in your business?
My production, for
Okay.
sure.
What do you mean? Why your product? Why do you say that?
Well, because I can't blame anybody else for me not wanting to shoot a video or me thinking I look fat or me thinking, listen, and I do I do presentations where nobody cares what you look like. I know all of
Right.
this, but
Yeah.
I care, right? And so
Yeah.
I've gotten in my own way this year. I think we're at 20 million, which again, 20 million is great, but somebody else is doing 100 million, somebody else is doing 5 million. It's all relative. And
Yeah.
I'm proud of the 20 million because of everything that I went through, personally and professionally. But the
Yeah.
reality is it probably could have been 25 to 30 if I had really focused and done better at things. So I think when you know you've done your best, it's a great feeling. When you know you could have done better, it kind of sucks. So I'm
Yeah.
grateful this year and I'm giving myself grace. Next year, I just want to be grateful.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, Mylo, I'm really excited to see what next year is going to bring. I think 20 million, you're just going to fly by that. It's just going to be something you're just going to blow through. You speak from the heart, you care more, you give to this community. Send Mylo a DM, ask him a question. He'll be the first one right away to answer it back to you. Like, that's just who Mylo is. And I appreciate our friendship. I know I like to tease you, and I know you like to tease me. But deep down, I would do anything for you. I think you have a big voice for our industry, and I gotta say, I'm proud of you. So thanks
I
for all you
I
do.
really appreciate that. I have to tell you, you are one of my favorite people. Not even because you're white. You're just one of my favorite people. I respect and adore you. I bust your chops all the time because I care. If I didn't give you the shit I give you, I wouldn't even be talking to you.
Right. That's right.
And
That's right.
Bruce thinks you are the best dressed mortgage person. Like you'll be coming in something. He's like, look at that suit, look at those shoes. Like Bruce is hooked. So Team Mylo is very pro Chris Vinson. I love what you do at Windsor. I need you to fix that yield a little bit.
Right. I need to fix it for myself.
That's the problem. I'm gonna need you to fix that yield a little. But listen, I appreciate all your support. You've been really great and kind to me in a way that I never expected from anyone, and uh, it gives me a sense of security and courage. And so I really appreciate you. I really do.
Appreciate you too. Here's to 2026, Mylo.
Let's get it. Ew.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for being on Coaching
I
with Chris.
appreciate you. Thank you.